crazy smooth, no stubbly feeling, absolutely nothing at all. It's pain-free, there's no irritation, no redness, I didn't break out, just absolutely no negative side effects for me that I have seen so far. Hi guys, today we're going to talk about dermaplaning. This is not the first time that I'm talking about facial hair. I feel like I've made it my personal mission to talk about it as often as possible. In fact, in a recent vlog, if you don't know, I've been vlogging every single day. I haven't all. Initially, it was every day of the isolation of the lockdown, and now it's kind of like I'm fair weather vlogging because I had a bit of a meltdown last week. But they are there if you want to see some lockdown vlogs on my other channel. And in one of these vlogs, I was talking about shaving my face. And in that vlog, I said I was considering trying at home dermaplaning, and the tool that I'd seen online was the Hollywood Browzer. And in the whole thing of the cosmic fashion of law of attraction, almost immediately I got an email from someone at Hollywood Browzer asking me whether or not I would do a review for you guys, and so here we are. That is why we are here today talking about the tool, and I did film myself opening it up. A little bit of a first impression, so I'm going to show you that now. So this has just arrived, very exciting. I've just watched a video on how to use it. I'm going to give it a go. Hadn't really looked all that much into dermaplaning before I gave it a go. I expected it to be an elevated version of shaving, which I've been doing off and on for a few years anyway, on my face. I watched a few videos just to see how it works, and it's not really the same thing at all. It's not shaving. Obviously, you can see the hair is being removed. You can see it's a decent amount of that downy, kind of vellus hair removed from my jaw especially, but it's much closer and my skin felt so smooth, like way smoother than I've ever known, which is in part because it's also exfoliating, which always piques my interest since my main skin concerns are dullness and pigmentation, which exfoliation is great for. I use this as directed on clean, dry skin, short strokes at 45-degree angle. Crazy smooth. I was nervous about doing it dry because I always use an oil of some kind, but it was completely fine. It felt... it wasn't painful at all, but it felt kind of, you know, like when you take off a peel-off mask? That's kind of what it felt like as I was doing it. And it just feels like my whole face kind of feels weirdly fresh. And I pretty much did everywhere. I kind of did around my nose where I could do, around my eyebrows, which I don't usually even bother with because they don't, I've had them microbladed because they don't grow back very well anyway, so I don't really bother. I've got little hairs all over me. But given that I'm used to shaving my face, I can't believe how much hair came off kind of this area because I've never seen that before. It also really easily removed all of the kind of coarse hair that I've got on my chin. Usually when I shave that, you can see immediately that there is some kind of stubble. It's never 100%, whereas this, I can't feel anything at all and you can't see that it was there. It kind of reminds me of the only time that I had my face, what's the word, you know, with the strings threaded. Has anybody else got lockdown brain? I'm not talking enough, not having as many conversations, and so my words just aren't immediately available to me. It drives me crazy. Yeah, it reminds me, there was one time I had my whole face threaded. Number one, it felt like they were ripping my face off. Most painful thing. Here, I swear to God, it was like my own personal horror movie. Back with an update. It's been 5 days. I thought I'd be coming back after 1 or 2. So in terms of hair removal, I think this is much longer lasting than anything else that I've tried. But I'm going to kind of bring you in just to show you the difference between those hairs that I'm talking about that I do actually pluck and remove, the ones that are actually stubbly, dark, coarse hairs, and how the rest of my face, where I've dermaplaned all of that and removed all of the hair, it's nothing like that. So hopefully it will focus for you. You can see those black hairs, and they are like actually coarse black hairs that I choose to remove. Now everywhere else on my face, still, like you can see, that's the edge where I decided to stop using the tool. So you can see kind of this is just that peach fuzz kind of hair. It's still completely smooth. No stubbly feeling, absolutely nothing at all. And you can see that this, which is what concerns people, that it's going to be darker and thicker, is not what that hair looks like. And you saw how much hair came off my jaw it doesn't grow back any differently. Obviously, the number one thing that I get asked when I talk about hair removal is regrowth. So I wanted to wait long enough to show you some regrowth, and I was really impressed by 5 days. I really did think it was going to be like the next day. My hair grows really quickly. Like if I shave in the morning, I've got stubble by the evening. I'm talking my legs now. And so truly, having dealt with this problem since I was a teenager, I really did think it was going to be quick. And I personally was impressed by kind of, I'd say probably 4 or 5 days, and I could have shown you some regrowth, but I wanted it to be long enough to be to grab with the tweezers, which is how I deal with that hair. The particular hairs that I was showing you on my chin, the really dark ones, I'll shave them, or now I'll dermaplane them and leave them for a few days so that they grow out long enough to be able to tweeze, because then I can get several of them at once. They're all kind of like available to me. It's difficult to catch them all. If you've got facial hair that you deal with like I do, you'll often find yourself, often when you're out of the house, all of a sudden you catch in a different kind of light and you're like, oh my God, where did all of those come from? But you could see the difference in those hairs that are the real facial hairs that I'm tackling, and then that kind of downy hair around here. It's just not the same. And I do think that most people who've never done this before, most people that are considering this kind of hair removal are concerned about that. They're concerned about that kind of stubbly, coarse, black hair. And that's just not what you're going to be dealing with at all. It's not going to kind of change the makeup of your hair in the same way as when you cut your hair. Sometimes it can appear thicker. You know, when you first have a trim and you feel the end, like right now, oh my God, this is lockdown hair we're dealing with, split ends and wispiness. But you know, when you have your hair cut and you can feel that it's really satisfying, those thick ends. Within a week or two, those thick ends have kind of tapered and they're gone. And it's the same thing. When you shave your legs, you get that kind of stubble, and if you let it grow out, it tapers and it starts to become kind of fluffy and fine again. It doesn't change the hair, it's just initially it may seem slightly different because you've literally cut that tapered thin end off, but it's very temporary. I never notice it on this part, this kind of downy hair. Basically any hair that you've got that you're going to remove is going to grow back in exactly the same way. So also worth noting that the hair that I'm dealing with, all of this kind of downy hair that I have on my face, is very fair. So if you've got dark hair, it's going to grow back dark. Having used this now, and this is I think a week and a half afterwards, and the way that it feels, I mean, round here, I don't personally feel like I would need to do this weekly, but I now think I'm going to be doing like a weekly sweep of my goatee area is what I'm going to call it. This area that is my concern area, I'm going to be doing kind of a weekly sweep of that. I think I'm perfectly happy to do it. I'm also kind of tempted to do my bikini line with it because I use an IPL device and you have to remove the hair. You can't pluck it or wax it. You have to remove the hair so that the hair still has a root. And because of the way that it's changed the feeling of the skin on my face, I feel like maybe I might give it a go with my bikini line rather than shaving. We'll see. I'll let you know how I get on with that, but I'm kind of considering it. Kind of something that I'm starting over with. I've been very lax with the IPL since lockdown. And it's not a permanent solution. You have to keep doing it, and when you stop doing it, it grows back. So I am kind of like starting over with that. So that's why I'm thinking maybe I'll do a different hair removal method. Now, I do also want to mention, of course, none of this is essential grooming. Nobody has to remove any hair anywhere on their body, their face, anywhere. You do you. This is just coming from a place of someone who has tried lots of different hair removal methods, and I really like this one. The dermaplaning element is new to me and something that I'm interested in, and these are all added benefits. It's supposed to make your skincare penetrate better, apparently. Makeup looks better when you've got no hair on your face, but these are all things that are non-essential. These are things that I am enjoying as part of the process, but I don't want anybody watching this to think you have to get rid of all of the peach fuzz on your face, because you absolutely don't. I used to find that quite a lot of makeup would gather around here and on my top lip because I have a decent amount of peach. It's not all dark. I'm getting more and more dark hair the older I get. I used to have like one single hair when I was a teenager, and now it's like so many. But I have a good amount, kind of almost starting to like kind of go down here in like a shape. I don't know what that's all about, but I do like to remove that and around my jaw for makeup purposes. And I have tried a bunch of different ways. Like wax does not touch the hair on my face. I don't know what it is, but it doesn't do it. I have waxed elsewhere and I tend to get really bad ingrown hairs, and that's not something that I enjoy. For a long time I waxed my own bikini line, no, I was a pro. I was using like liquid hot wax and everything. And it really, I had so many ingrown hairs to deal with. It's not pretty. And it's the same with my legs. For some reason I couldn't wax my legs. It's just different hairs everywhere, and you have to kind of find what works for you. And this is pain-free. There's no irritation, no redness. I didn't break out. Just absolutely no negative side effects for me that I have seen so far. I'm going to be talking a bunch about hair in general, growing it, removing it, all of that stuff over the next few weeks. I think I've had quite a few suggestions and what's the word I'm looking for? Requests for videos that feel like they all kind of fit into a series. So let's call this number 1. If you've got any questions about this specific tool or dermaplaning in general, leave them as a comment. I'll see if there's enough, then we'll do another video. And I'll ask the questions, obviously, of the people at Hollywood Browzer if you've got any specific questions for them. Maybe as well we could do like an IGTV Q&A if there were enough. Anyway, we'll see what questions you have. And if you've got any suggestions or any topics that you'd like me to cover over those videos when it comes to hair removal or hair growth, anything at all, let me know and I'll try to cover those in those coming videos. Also, if you tried the Hollywood Browzer yourself, let me know. Leave a comment. I have one test subject and it is my face, and my face is not your face. So the more reviews, the better. Hopefully this was enough information. As I was going through, I was thinking, what would I want to know? I feel like I've covered everything that I would want to know. But again, let me know if you've got any more questions. The main things I knew would be about regrowth, so I feel like I've kind of covered that base. This light. What is this? I had to move and pull down the blinds because the sun hates me. Anyway, as I was saying, easy to use. You can use it anywhere. Thankfully, they sent me 2, so I'm going to leave one in my handbag for those times when I find myself with a full beard and I'm out of the house. Although I tend to travel with tweezers, but they keep going missing because I live with a teenager, even out of my bag. It's driving me crazy. Anyway, hopefully this has been useful. If you haven't already, don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!